Gilkes, thank you for taking the time to chat to us. First, it's probably worth paying a bit of tribute to the guys who've been working with you in the academy. Everyone's had to adapt, haven't they?
Yes, I mean, being a Cat 1 academy is you're always trying to strive to be as best you can be, and there's so many people a part of that. Medical staff, sports science, transport, operations, education, analysis, the coaches. I know I'm going to leave someone out, but there's so many people involved in getting the operation to work on a daily basis, weekly basis, monthly, yearly. It goes on, and it's never fixed in stone. Things can be changed at a moment, and you have to adapt. And you're always trying to find solutions. So I have fantastic staff alongside me who help me try and get to the right solution as quickly as possible, really.
And our fans, of course, think about our academy in the context of the first team, and in your role, it must be really pleasing that the manager we've got here has offered a lot of so many players debuts and opportunities since he's arrived.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the manager and his team, they've come into a challenge, shall we say, putting it kindly, and they're doing the best they can with what they have. So, due to lack of squad players, members, injuries, etc., it's given the opportunity for some players who maybe it's a bit before their time, but if you want to be a professional, there is no right or wrong time. If the opportunity becomes available, you try your best to take it.
And by our calculations, I've got it as 112 first team appearances for academy graduates so far this season, and 15 different players that have come out of our academy have played first team football. And what do those kind of stats mean to you as an academy manager?
Well, to me personally, obviously stats, it depends how you want to take them. I mean, since the academy was formed with Eamon, over 10 years EPPP now, so there's been a lot of people involved in that. I seem to be at the head of it at the moment, but there's so many people who've been involved, who have been a major part to all of those players coming through, having them from under 9s, 10s, all the coaches who train in the evening. It's been a collective effort, that's for sure, from everybody over a number of years. So it seems to be coming to fruition now for some of them, and obviously our job is to make sure it continues.
And you mentioned under 9s, under 10s and so on. You've got obviously new batches every year, and it must be great to have these examples to kind of show off to those younger age groups. Even this season you have Luke Southwood regular in goal. We've got a couple of centre halves in Tom Holmes, Terrell Ashcroft, Ethan Bristow, Andy Rinamotta's in the midfield playing 100 plus games, Jamari Clark scoring those goals. Every single position you can point to something, and that's a huge motivation for staff you work with and fundamentally the players too.
Yeah, I mean, if I be honest, you have to think that a lot of those players have come in at pre-academy, under 7s, under 8s, getting into the academy at under 9s, coming through, and I'm sure there's a number and a big batch of those 5, 6, 7 years time hopefully will continue to come through to the first team. But the reality is, as good as that sounds, once you get into that first team, it does come down to results and trying to win as many games as possible and be as successful as possible, of course.
You anticipate what I was going to ask you, because I was going to say, a lot of these players are probably learning quite quickly and sometimes learning the hard way that, 3 points as a professional footballer is what matters more than anything else, more than development and stuff. Once you get to that first team level, it's the only thing that matters to a lot of people, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, what people are maybe not aware of is that you get to the first team, but if you're dedicated and do the right things, then you're always learning, you're always developing. Even as you go through your career and you become into your mid and late 20s and into your 30s, if you're fortunate to stay away from injury, that you're always learning, you're always trying to improve, and you're always trying to keep in a job. Whether it's at Reading Football Club or another football club. It's a real challenge if you want to do or be the best you can be.
And obviously you touched on it too, part of the reason some of these guys are getting opportunities has been circumstances. We've had injuries and all sorts to first team players, possibly getting opportunities, experiences, as you said, before they would necessarily have expected them. But how would you commend the way they're taking on the challenges?
Yeah, it's part of their development, it's part of the industry, it's part of the way things are. Circumstances can change. You can be a hero 1 minute in a game and you can be a bit disappointed in another game, shall we say. And same with results, it affects people, players, management, club, fans, all in a different way. We all see the same thing, but we don't see the same thing, if that makes sense. We watch it and we all have different views. So it's always a challenge. Every game's a challenge, every training session, everything you do, not just in football, in life. It's you as an individual need to sort yourself out and be right, and then that helps us if we try to be collective about it as well.
I guess there's been a bit of a trickle-down effect when there have been injuries and so on. Players from the under-23s and under-18s, if you like, called up into the first team. I imagine that sort of has happened at younger age groups too. I know there's been a lot of kids, 15, 16, I think, playing 23s football. But of course, partly because they've got immense talent as well. So has there been a bit of a trickle-down effect throughout the whole academy too?
Yeah, mainly down to about the under-15s, really. Yeah, a major effect, of course. You see it as effect or opportunity, however you want to see it. I think part of development in the academy is trying to win games as well. I think, at 18s level and 23s we found that more of a challenge, having to play players who are maybe not ready for it physically and some who are. And that has always been a challenge. That's not going to change. The injuries have affected the academy in different age groups, but I'm not making excuses about that. Whatever team we put out, we go past the white line onto the pitch, we try our best to win the game.
And as a more general point too, lastly, I wanted to ask you, you've been in football a long time and you're Reading through and through, really. You fully understand the club's in a bit of a tough situation generally. We want results haven't been what they want for the first team and so on, but also that the twists and turns in football, things can change quickly, and sometimes you just have to embrace the challenges.
Yeah, it's a challenge for everybody involved with Reading Football Club at the moment, on and off the field. Everybody wants to win and do the right things and be entertaining and be at the top of the leagues and all the normal stuff that goes with winning and being successful. We've had a challenging time at the moment, and my experience tells me it's in these moments you find out what people are about, and right now we really need everybody to pull together. That's on and off the field, in the club and outside the club. We're all part of it together, the community, the fans, and I know it's challenging right now, and understandably, but this is the moment when we stick together, we get through this period and we push forward, and we have to support each other and do that the best we can, and we're all pulling in the same direction for the right reasons, so let's stick together and try and keep moving forward as a football club. And we do appreciate everything the fans do and say, and they are entitled to their opinions. I totally respect that, but they still are supporters of the club, and we are very grateful for that, and long may that continue.